Greetings, Earth people. My name is Toastdrag5000, and you're watching Toast Talks, the only show where Toastatron talks. Today, we are going to be diving into the Boulay Brothers Dragula Titans Season 2, Episode 2, Monsters of Rock. Bitch. It is so fucking late right now, you guys, so I am trying to do my best to make this video happen, but if I am a little low energy or a little tired today, please forgive me. It's like, I think 2 in the morning at this point. Who knows? But I don't have any other time to film this video this week, so let's motherfucking go. So this is the look. You know, it's giving very like if Jet Set Radio did medieval torture. Baby, I am so excited to get into this episode. It was such a good little package with the first episode. We get so much more of the tea from what I'm calling Drunk Gate with Dahlia, Priscilla, and Jade. We get a follow-up on Blackberry and Jaharia and Cynthia and their drama. And we get to see what goes on with Eva and with Sigourney. There is so much more too. So, I cannot wait to get into this episode. Okay, so now that we've seen a look with the gloves are coming off because I need to look at my phone. And these gloves don't work. I tried. Oh no. Oh no, you guys. Okay. You know what? I had fun. Look at the gloves. See the gloves. You saw me in these gloves. Now you're about to see me in other gloves. Wow. And oh my god, y'all, thank you all so much for the support on the last video. So many people left lovely comments and I enjoyed reading all of them. But yeah, no, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for leaving your comments and thank you for supporting. It means the world to me. Without further ado, let's get into this episode. So we start off again back at the Boulay Spooky Haunted House Trick-or-Treat Manor. It's pretty innocuous. They're just like, oh, we threw someone off a bridge, blah, 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 blah. They basically just recap what happens. The only thing I feel like that's super notable here, I loved the talking rug. That was so cunt, and I hope that rug makes a reappearance. So after the intro, it cuts to them and they're like in vans, they're like driving through the desert, they're like going up mountains and stuff. And there were 2 notable things in this part. First of all, Sigourney fucking throws up because she gets car sick apparently and didn't bring her Dramamine. And the producers were so shady, of course, they showed her throwing up. Of course they showed her throwing up. Another thing I thought was funny was Loris with her headphones and listening to her bad bitch meditation. Whose idea was that joke? I just thought that was that Loris's idea? Or like, did production do that? And then who recorded the voice? Like and can we get a bad bitch meditation session from Loris? Like, I feel like now she needs to release one. They're all asked to show up in their best desert apparel. And I do kind of want to get into these looks. And actually, you know what's gonna be a gag? I'm gonna come out in my version of my out of drag desert look. And then I'll do that as a separate segment. Editing Toast, you know what to do. That's much better. So, on the Boulais podcast, they mentioned specifically that they asked them to wear these looks that disguised them, both in the desert looks and in the challenge. So, now maybe some of these monsters didn't understand that in the challenge portion, but we'll get to that later. So let's get into these looks. Eva looks great with this huge hair. Her, Blackberry, and Priscilla look like the most well-dressed stagehands I've ever seen. It's giving move those set pieces, but make it fashion. Love it. Zavaleta and Jaharia, they're giving me very sand people from Star Wars, looking like they're about to go kill Anakin's mom. I love Zavaleta's mask and like the angular glasses. Jaharia looks so cool with those ripped pants too. Love both of their looks. Loris is giving me like a little bit of Joker by way of Kokichi Oma with like the little handkerchief and the green hair. I love her arm cannon too with like the pleated skirt. But girl, be careful with those Club Kid boots. Be careful. They'll get ya, the booze. Disasterina literally looks like she could be going into Zero Dark 30 with these night vision goggles, but it's also giving very like, I don't know why, but for some reason it's giving me like perverted soccer instructor. No clue why, but obsessed. So JK is, wearing this like kind of leathery orange and black situation. He's got 2 pairs of glasses, giving another meaning to the phrase 4 eyes. And he's got little nipple piercings on the top. I love it. Sigourney looks like she's in the Matrix and she's just discovered that she's the one. So that's pretty fabulous. I love her little grommets. Oh my god, Jade looks like if RoboCop was satanic and served the most puss. She looks like a sexy Gundam. I love it. And so the at-risk ghouls come back, and it's Dahlia Black, Abora, and Cynthia Dahl, which means Frankie Doom got the chop, which honestly I was kind of sad about because I was so excited to see more from her. Very sad about that puppy. Now, in terms of a disguise, I don't really know if Dahlia got the assignment really. Like, I can tell it's her with this one, but she looks cool as heck. I love the metal face jewelry and her like red glasses. Now, Abora, she looks like the leader of a Yakuza gang in an anime. And guys, why is Abora so hot this season? Like, is it just me? Like, what is going on? There's something in the water over at Dragula right now. Like, I don't know what's happening. These Titans 1 girls are getting me together. And Cynthia is giving us this motocross realness with this like spiky helmet situation. And she's also giving us body with these cutouts. I love the radioactive symbol that she has that's like made out of mirrors. That also looks super cool. I think she looks great. And that pretty much does it for the looks. So, Past Toast was a little bit delirious, so she might have missed out on a thing or two. And this might not be the last thing you see of me. But for now, back to you, Toast. Boop. So yeah, they're here in their desert looks. They're dishing about the drama from last week. We basically catch up on all the main points, like Sigourney and Eva kind of like talk a little bit about their shit. Jaharia mentions that she feels bad again. She's like, I took no pride in doing that. And we kind of just sort of hear a little bit of everybody's thoughts about, who they think could be coming back. Some people want Dahlia to go home. I think a lot of people are now wanting Dahlia to go home. Dahlia's getting on everybody's fucking nerves this episode. It's like so interesting to watch. And during the part where Eva and Sigourney are, talking about their choices last episode, my favorite part of that scene was just like it cutting to JK smoking a cigarette through their mask. Incredible. Cinema. So after they chat for a little while, the at-risk ghouls come back. It's Abora, it's Dahlia, and it's Cynthia Dahl. So we find out that Frankie's been eliminated, which for me was so sad. I was so excited to see more of Frankie this season. And her first look was so hot. I was just like excited to see more from her. But you know what? That will have to live on in my fantasies. Cynthia's really upset. Cynthia starts popping off. Well, actually, okay, before that, Dahlia is talking about her experience bungee jumping, and she's like, thanks, girls. And Cynthia starts popping off at Jaharia and at Blackberry. Although I will say, it seems just on this first interaction alone that she's so much more mad with Blackberry than she is with Jaharia. Jaharia's her sister. Like, if your sister betrayed you, you'd think that, you'd be up in arms about it. I loved seeing this side of Blackberry because Blackberry, she doesn't take this shit lying down from Cynthia because Cynthia's coming at her pretty hard. She's, standing her ground. She's making some really good points. She's calling out, like, the childishness of it all. And I love seeing her get a little bit, assertive. She was like, oh. Yeah, so the claws were out. And then Cynthia brings up the pinky promise that Jaharia and her made, which again is another moment where they cut to that clip of them doing it. I wish they would have just shown us that whole goddamn scene. I want to know. I want to know what they were talking about. But anyway, so they show the clip of the pinky promise. Everybody clowns on them for it. They're like, oh, not the pinky promise. Anything but the pinky promise, Gorge. And then it cuts to the confessional, and like they get like literally like 5 different people's opinions on the pinky promise. And I'm literally just imagining like the producers like literally going into confessionals and asking each and every one of them just like, All right, so tell me about the pinky promise. The only person that I think actually has any amount of earnesty in her response is Sigourney. I think Sigourney genuinely believes that pinky promises are divine. And like, I love that for her. I thought that was adorable. I feel like Sigourney was like kind of wholesome this episode. I feel like she was giving very wholesome energy. And I kind of loved that. Especially after last episode when like, she was just so intimidating and like, cut through. It was nice to see a different side of her too. After the eliminated ghouls come back and they catch up a little bit, they start roaming around, and I don't really think I said this earlier, but you know, they pull up to this like kind of festival thing, which we later find out is Neotropolis. They were showing us around and it seemed so cool, honestly. The aesthetics of the episode, we were really like in for a treat. Like just from the beginning to you know, even through the challenge. I mean, I thought the challenge was good, but just like the first like little chunk of this episode, I just thought was so visually appealing. All of the neon lights and like, you know, them in their outfits, it just gave very like dystopian, like, it gave very like Star Wars. Like, girl, like they were like on Tatooine. So then people sort of split off into groups and we get these side convos and shit gets juicy yet again. Every single time they stay coming through with the drama. So Jade, Priscilla, Abora, JK, and Cynthia, they're all kind of in a little hurdle together. They're sort of talking about Dahlia. Abora says that she has never been inspired by anything that Dahlia has done, which I just thought was so fucking savage. I feel like Abora is expressing her opinions a little more this episode. Like, I don't know that we've gotten a savage opinion from Abora like that in a minute. So I just thought that that was delicious. Jade mentions a moment that we didn't get to see in the cauldron, which was after, you know, her and Priscilla and Dahlia had their argument. Apparently Dahlia opened up about the fact that she's bipolar, which they show a little clip of it. And Jade's like, well, isn't that just so convenient to bring up your bipolar when you lost the fight? And she's like, it's so season 4. She's like, I already did that, honey. Team Jade. Team Jade. I just love how petty Jade is. Like, she really is like, been there, done that. It cuts to another group with Eva, Dahlia, Loris, and Jaharia. They're talking about, you know, Eva voting for Sigourney. Is that really what you want to do? Nothing left to lose? Eva's sort of like, oh my god, like, are we threatening people now? And everyone's sort of like continuing on about this narrative that Sigourney's sort of on her high horse. The bitches will continue to love hating on Sigourney, but I will not be bitches today. So then in the third group, which is Blackberry, Sigourney, Zavaleta, and Disasterina, Blackberry's kind of talking a little bit about her perspective about this whole, like, Cynthia drama. And, you know, Blackberry's just basically saying, like, she thinks that Cynthia's taking it way too personally. And she's like, I kind of don't have time for this childish behavior. And once again, stand Blackberry. So after they all kind of catch up and dish a little bit, they find out that there's a club. And so they hit the club. And there's a little montage, them all dancing, getting into it. The music was so fire. If you know, you know. I can't play it because of copyright, but if you know, you know. During the middle of the montage, Israel kind of comes and scoops them up so that they can all go get the challenge issuing. So they get the challenge, and it's Monsters of Rock. Very classic challenge. It's like the Dragula staple challenge. It's like the Snatch game of Dragula. But this time they're doing it with a sort of cyberpunky kind of twist. I feel like my hot take is that maybe this challenge is fabulous from like a look perspective, but sometimes I find that I end up being just sort of underwhelmed by the performances. This time I don't know that that was as much the case. Like, I think that everybody did a really good job, and the way that they edited it this time, the fact that it was live, there's so many good things about it this time. So they assign them groups, and they specifically say that they're going to put them with people that they loathe. Which, like, they say that they're going to do that, but I feel like there are messier pairings that they could have chosen. After they get the challenge, it basically cuts straight to them doing their makeup, and we don't get any creatives really or anything. It's kind of just like, okay, now they're doing their makeup, now they're getting into it. They also didn't even show any rehearsals or anything too. So another thing that I'm like wondering about is like, Did they already have the teams when they got there? Probably. Like, they probably already knew that they were going to be doing that, and they had probably already rehearsed. But that felt weird to me, too. I feel like sometimes the pacing of it feels a little bit weird in the episodes. So they're doing their makeup, and they're doing their makeup in a little tent, and this ends up just being Cynthia and Blackberry's moment, girl, because, you know, Cynthia basically is just popping off on Blackberry. She's like, Blackberry, why are you so fake? Cynthia's like, oh, we were friends. I would have never voted for you. And then Blackberry's like, well, you say that we're friends, but like, you're telling me that you had this alliance that you didn't tell me about, and like, you also wanted me to honor an alliance that I wasn't in. She's got points. Cynthia is kind of just coming from a place of like being in her feelings, which is like so valid, but also like it's just like she is taking it so personally. Blackberry's like doing a pretty good job of like remaining composed, and she really is just like shutting it down. She's like, look, and I don't need you to make me feel bad about something that I don't feel bad about. And I'm like, yes, bitch, give it to her. So after they have that little tiff, the alarm goes off for the floor show, and Cynthia is like, I can't work in these conditions. And she storms off and she goes into a fucking porta potty, you guys. Just like in her original season. And she's like, finally some peace and quiet. And she just starts, and then it cuts, and it's just, you just see the door lock. Like, that is one of the better bits that they've done. It really, really is. You could tell that it was pre-planned, because as soon as Cynthia stands up, JK immediately is like, you better sit down. It was giving very much like, you know, we obviously planned this ahead of time, but I just thought the whole bit was so fucking funny. I thought that was incredible. So, we get to the challenge. And, you guys, last time I forgot to cover the Boulets challenge looks, but needless to say, they looked fabulous. This time I will not be making that mistake. This week, the Boulets come out in their spooky Daft Punk cosplay. Love to see it. That's what it is, except it's drag, veil, horror, glamour. No, the Boulets honestly look great, though. I love, like, this, like, devil horn situation here, and, like, the bat little, like, PVC skirt situation. The whole thing is so incredible. It's just immaculate. Oh my god, and they have these, like, really, really sick looking, like, weapons on their arms, too. Girl, that looks like some, like, WMD type shit. I just thought it was really funny because it was pretty clear that they ADR'd the audio in for that section, right? Because they were wearing the helmets, but like I'm just picturing them being there, like filming on location, being like, because they were like doing the head movements and stuff, but like in my head I'm like, are they even saying the lines, or are they just standing there being like? So the teams for this challenge are Abora, Jade, Sigourney, Disasterina, and Blackberry as Mechbox, with Sigourney as the lead singer, Jade and Disasterina are their guitarists, Blackberry is the drummer, and to be honest, Abora's kind of just there. I think her role is like screeching. I think she does the screeching. So the next team is JK, Priscilla, Cynthia, and Zavaleta as Skin Tag. And JK was the lead singer for this one. Priscilla and Zava were on the guitars, and Cynthia was on the drums. And the last group was Dahlia, Eva, Jaharia, and Loris as Plated Steel. Dahlia was the lead for that one. Jaharia and Loris were the guitarists, and Eva was the drummer. I feel like the editing for the challenge was good. I had like a pretty good sense of like, you know, who did where. I thought the performances were incredible. The standouts for me were for sure Jaharia. Jaharia ate that shit the fuck up. Like, Jaharia's Kiss. Like, Jaharia is literally going on tour as Kiss. Like, I don't even know. She's such a star. Loved Jaharia. Abora was also a standout for me. Love that she brought the stilts back. And yeah, she just had like a really good energy, I feel like, about her. And she was like going out and interacting with the crowd and stuff. Just like, you know, throwing her hands up all over the place. I thought she was great too. And then Eva came the fuck through on the drums. She did such a good job, and she looked incredible. Just I'm gonna continue the trend of thirsting after people on this cast because Eva looked so hot and I'm so not sorry about it. It was like, I feel disgusting, but listen, women can get horny too. I don't know what else to say. I feel like the highlights for me for sure, Jaharia smashing the guitar. JK came out with like the big mohawk. I thought that that was super effective. JK feeding a cigarette to Priscilla as she just like eats it. That was also hot. Loved that. That's pretty much all I can say about the performance. I thought it was good overall. I think that all three teams did good, and like I'm really happy that they ended up doing individual judging because I definitely feel like there were really strong members and really weak members from each teams. They sort of had one team that they liked the most, but they definitely did have like very mixed critiques like across the board. Hey, Future Toast here, jumping back in to talk about the challenge looks. I'm gonna go in the order that they came out in. So first up is Priscilla. Overall, I really like this look, especially from like about the shoulders up. The headpiece is super well done. The collar is well adorned, you know, but I can't help but feel like, you know, maybe the rest of it doesn't go far enough. I also don't really feel like the ball and chain that she had goes with the look, but I did love the tummy face. That was really, really cute. And overall, I thought she looked great. Next up is JK and this orange and black jacket and pant combo. JK looks sick. He looks hot. The makeup is hot. I love the pop of pink up in there too. It's like a really good color combo, that orange and pink. If I had a critique, I'd say that I don't really get cyber from it as much. It is futuristic for sure, and it's nailing the Monsters of Rock part, so it's really not too many hard knocks. But you know, the little wire hanging off the side definitely was a little bit seemed like a little bit of an afterthought. But other than that, I think he looks sick. Cynthia Doll is up next, and holy shit, you guys, she looks so fucking good. It's giving me like Tiefling, it's giving me like Fifth Element meets Mad Max. I love the neon green merkin, you guys. That was so, that was funny, that was a cute little touch. And the guitar was so fucking sick. She should be the real Texas Chainsaw Massacre, honey. Like, if they ever do a remake, they need to call this girl, because that is a chainsaw. I genuinely don't know why she was placed on drums with an instrument like that. But yeah, she looks really incredible. So next up is La Zabaleta. And, okay, I love the overall effect of this look. I love the jacket, the fuck off cape, and the extra arm is like really cool. I will say everything underneath the jacket, it kind of confuses me a little bit. It looks like the ketamine started to kick in, but it's definitely interesting to look at, and I'm not bored. So honestly, I kind of love it. And I love her headpiece too. Looks like you could slide a Hot Wheel right down that. So moving on to the next group, we have Bora looking absolutely insane. The more I look at this, the more it like breaks my brain. Like, I have no idea how exactly this meets the brief for Monsters of Rock Cyber Edition, but like it does. Her mind is truly twisted in a way that I can only admire. It's really doing something for me, honestly. I think it's the leg hair, you guys. Like, girl, she could step on my throat anytime with those stilts. Anyways, next up is Sigourney, and she had really big shoes to fill after her French kiss look on her season, and for me, this kind of missed the mark a little bit. I really liked what is there. I just kind of wish that she would have fleshed out the concepts a little more. Like the wires and lights and stuff on her face, like all the like bionics and stuff, that was really cool. I just wish that there was more of them. I wish that the scale of them was more. Like I wish it was like all the way up her arms, like veins and stuff. And like she's got a couple of little lights here and there, but like, I don't know, I just wish it was more. I will say the hair is sitting at Heaven's Gate though. And her face card never declines. And the tits do look amazing. So I really, at the end of the day, can't be that bad at it. I just kind of wish she would have taken it a little farther. So Blackberry is giving us like kind of these like Mega Man vibes with this power glove. I love the wire titty spiral thing going on and the hardware pieces on the bottoms and on the arm. Like those look cool. I love all that. I feel like the glove is a little disjointed from like the color story of the rest of the look. But other than that, I think she looks really cool. Disasterina comes out as Rick Sanchez by way of Ziggy Stardust. Guys, I love this. She's bringing a retro futuristic kind of angle that I really appreciate. In all honesty, this is what Rick should have worn when he sang Get Swifty. He could have really shown them what he had, you know? I just think it's really well done. It's simple enough, but it's like in its own style. And as always, I mean, I love Disaster Wina, so stan. So J. Jolie is next, and I love this girl. I don't know about this look. I will say, from the tits up, I'm so on board. The mask is incredible. I love all the teeth and everything in it. And I love the tinsel in her pigtails. That's a really cute detail. The bottom half of the look is just a little bit underwhelming for me. And I think the machine gun looks a little bit cheap as a prop, like compared to what some of the other ghouls were bringing. Like it's so... I yearn for something better from Jade, because like she is just so clocked in the confessionals and in the lab. But she just needs to bring it in the challenges and in the looks department. So moving on to our final band, we have Jaharia looking absolutely stunning. I love the teensy weensy little mini skirt. The way that she did, you know, the bionics on her arm is cool. And her frohawk looked so sick. This look is so simple but so effective. Like she adorned it, I feel like, just enough. Loved it. So Dahlia's up next, looking like a knight from the Ren Fair by way of Tron. I honestly love the armor pieces, and I feel like the placement of the lights are super effective. In the challenge, she had this wig that made it look a lot less, you know, Knights of the Round Table. They should have done that bit. That would have been so funny if she's like, they like questioned her about the helmet, and she's like, well, actually, whoosh. And then like she just had the hair. Like the Boulets did it. Like they should have given her the opportunity to do that. But alas. So moving on to Loris, who looks like the final boss of all of the mall goths. I love her hair and makeup. Like the safety pin detail in the makeup is so sick. Her mug always looks so snatched. And the rest of the look is a little bit polarizing for me. Like I love the big oversized pants with all like the, you know, spray painted details and safety pins and patchwork and stuff. I love all that. And the cape with the patchworks, like, you know, different patterns on it and stuff, that was also really, really cool. I think where I got lost was like in this middle part of the look. I don't know, just something about that. It just wasn't really like sitting right for me. Something about it. But I did love a lot of parts of this look. So last up is Eva Destruction, and holy shit, she looks so hot. Come on, guys. Like the leopard print coat with the shoulder rings and the spikes. And her bionic arm was probably my favorite of the lot. And I just love how genderfucky the whole look is. And Eva's one of the only people that actually took up the challenge of disguising herself in the challenge too, which I appreciated. Anyways, back to you, Toastatron. Got to start like you mean it. Free your mind. Ooh, yeah. So the Boulets do this bit at the beginning of judging where they like take off their helmets and reveal that they were wearing a full face of hair and makeup the whole time. Oh, and they didn't even get helmet hair. How crazy. I loved that. I thought that was so stupid and so silly. And I love when they do bits. I love when the Boos do bits. One notable thing while the two of them were talking was that they specifically mentioned at one point, Drac mentioned that this season they didn't want to send somebody home who was starting drama, because they were talking about Jade, and they were like, yeah, she just seemed kind of catatonic. Like, she didn't really seem like she was bringing it. Like, she kind of just seemed like she was, like, dead on arrival. And, you know, Swan was like, yeah, well, she's showing up in the labs. Like, she's showing up in the cauldron. She's just not showing up, you know, in the challenge. They're basically coming out and saying that drama is now a part of the criteria for the show. They're like, yeah, like, she's starting drama. We want that. So we'll keep her. So they invite everybody out. The guest judges this week are people whose names I didn't write down because I'm a professional. Catherine Siegel? Kate Siegel? No. Ryan Turek? Kate Siegel! Girl, I was so right. So the guest judges this week are Kate Siegel and Ryan Turek. They judge them as a band, but they also judge them individually, which I think is fabulous. So Skin Tag is up first, and they get mixed critiques. They loved JK as the leader, but they had like kind of mixed feelings about everybody else. Cynthia's like keytar kind of stunt didn't work. She had like a keytar that was supposed to shoot blood, and like it kind of didn't work, so they didn't love that, but they loved her outfit. Hi, jumping in again. So I kind of was a little bit confused about how this played out. So in the critique, Cynthia says that it was a hiccup in the performance, but like, my question is, like, why was she asked to play the drums with an instrument that fierce? It was really criminal. If it were me, like, I would have fought to be a guitarist and show that off. Maybe she was gonna come out and play it at one point. I don't know, but that part I thought was just a little confusing. Anyways, back to you, Past Toast. And then for Priscilla and Zava, they sort of got like middle of the road critiques. It did really send me though when Kate Siegel called them little green kissing Teletubbies. That was so fucking funny, and it fucking teleported me to Mars, girl. Whoa! Come on, little green Teletubbies! Make out on Mars! So Mechbox was next. They also got mixed critiques. They loved Abora, but they overall thought that the band's performance as a whole kind of lacked like cohesion. And they thought that Sigourney as a leader was just like maybe didn't step up to the plate as much, like just didn't do as much, put on as good of a show as like everybody else. Kate Siegel really was coming through with the comments tonight that were taking me out, because she also called Disasterino Rick and Morty, and that and now I can't think about the look in any other way. So Plated Steel was last, and they got the best critiques overall as a band. And Jaharia was the breakout star of that group for sure. And Eva got really, really great critiques from that group too. Dahlia got like kind of okay critiques, but they felt like as a leader she kind of like didn't step up to the plate either really. She kind of took moments aside and was kind of like not really commanding the stage for certain parts of the performance. And then she admits it was because she didn't know her words, which is interesting given how quick she was to judge Jade for not being prepared last week. So clock that. They felt that Loris just kind of didn't really show up. Loris is the only person who they said that like stopped playing the guitar at a certain point, which feels like a death sentence. But to be really honest though, Loris's death sentence was saying in her confessional that she wasn't here for drama. And that's the moment that I knew that she was gonna be packing it up this week. They're looking for the bitches that are gonna, you know, oh rat-tat-tat-ta. So there was a part in Dahlia's critique where Dahlia brings out a headpiece instead of the hair that she was wearing on stage. And like, you know, they talk about it and she's like, oh, like I just wanted to show this headpiece. And they cut to Disasterina to get her reaction, and they cut to it for like a long time. I didn't know what that was about. Usually the editors are so intentional with the way that they like cut the reaction shots together. So I'm predicting that maybe Disasterina and Dahlia are gonna have some kind of tiff later, or like maybe it's just sort of meant to add to the narrative that like Dahlia's kind of like getting on everyone's nerves. Because like if you're getting on Disasterina's nerves, and it's like, you know, you really done fucked up. So the tops this week are JK, Abora, and Jaharia. And Jaharia wins the challenge, which I'm so fucking happy for her. She ate. Like, she absolutely tore this week. She makes Dragula history as like the first person to win the Monsters of Rock that isn't a lead singer. So she like is the first guitarist to like do the damn thing and win. Yeah, Jaharia really, really shone. So the bottoms this week are Priscilla, Jade, and Loris. And they start out... So the bottoms this week... Oh my god. You guys, this fucking lash keeps getting caught on the fucking glasses. Jail. Electric chair. Oh my god, you guys, it happened again. Oh my god, no! I don't even know if it's coming across on camera, but it is driving me crazy. Oh, crazy! Boom, 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 boom. Crazy! Ah! So the bottom three this week are Jade, Loris, and Priscilla. And before they announce who is gonna be like put up to go to the ghostly gallows and get fucking trapdoored the fuck on out of there, they go to the cauldron. And they don't tell them who's gonna be safe, presumably so that they can argue it out in the cauldron. So Jade starts in the cauldron yet again, firing shots at Loris because she was the only person who stopped playing guitar. Which, valid. That's a valid point. Girl, this lash is gonna literally send me over the edge. Never wear glasses with a 301 lash, you guys. This has been a PSA. You're gonna make it through this. Just like you make it through everything in life. By being that bitch. By being that bitch. That bitch. So Jade is firing shots at Loris because she was the only person who stopped playing guitar, which is a very valid point. Priscilla hops in too. These two are like literally like the scissor sisters of the fucking cauldron. They love coming in for a tag team, girl. And she brings up how last week Loris was the only person who said that she wanted to vote for herself. Granted, Loris wanted to vote for herself so that she could like do the extermination and prove herself. But the other girls don't know that, and they also don't care. Loris doesn't really have too much to say. She kind of just rebuttals by saying that it's very bold coming from somebody in a PVC jumpsuit, which also definitely kind of points. Sigourney actually ends up sticking up for Loris this time, and she fires back at Priscilla, and she's like, well, you literally needed my help getting your outfit together today, girl. You know, they just keep going at it. It's kind of just shot after shot after shot. Jade says that Loris just isn't making good TV. Like, JK seems to take particular offense to that, and like she almost chimes in, but like right before she does, Cynthia taps her on the shoulder and is just like, girl, no, let them have it. Then out of nowhere, Zava speaks up, and she's like, nobody likes a suck up, girl. I know that these walls are thin, and if you go around talking, I will be hearing about it. And everyone's like, girl, who are you talking about? And she's like, Dahlia. And she turns to Dahlia, and everyone's like, ooh! And then she's like, ketamine is prescribed in New York City. So she starts talking about her ketamine prescription, and apparently, Dahlia's been going around to production tattling on Zava about her ketamine prescription, and apparently has also been going around tattling to production about Jade and Priscilla drinking, to the point to where producers had to go search their room for bottles. Juicy, honey. It's getting thick up in here. I'm like, so my opinion's totally changed. Like, now I'm fully team Jade and Priscilla. Because like, at this point, Dahlia is kind of just being a little bit of a control freak. Like, she's trying to control everybody else's behavior, and she's trying to like get people out of the competition. Like, that's like kind of shitty. That's like a shady game to be playing, like, for sure. As much as I have a lot of respect for her as an artist, girl, like, snitches get stitches, and that's kind of it. So, you would not catch me dead doing that, but c'est la vie. C'est la vie, honey. C'est la vie. And I have to give another gold star to the editors for making me like actually break down sobbing, because during this part where they're talking about Zavaletta's ketamine prescription, every single time that they talk about ketamine, they throw in this fucking horse sound effect, and it just fucking took me out, you guys. Like, it just took me out. Like, I can't. Like, is nothing sacred anymore? And not only that, they also had this really shady edit where Dahlia's talking about being on a cast with people who party, and they cut to a fucking shot of Jade pouring somebody else's drink into her drink, and they play this stupid fucking harp sound effect, and it's like, doo-doo-doo. Like, guys, are we so for real? It's so messy boots. And the final thing to end out the Zavaletta note on, it cuts to JK, and she says, oh honey, prescriptions don't come in baggies. Ooh, I have a feeling that we have not seen the culmination of that drama yet. And I, for one, cannot wait. So that's pretty much that for the cauldron. So we come back on, oh my god, girl, the lashes! The lashes! I'm gonna start lashing out, girl. We come back from the cauldron, and they announce that Priscilla is safe. Right before they announce Priscilla as safe, they cut to like a shot of them zooming in on her back. And I think this is to show that like her and Jade are holding hands, but genuinely it just looks like they're zooming in on her ass. So it's just a shot of them zooming in on Priscilla's ass, and then they're like you're safe. So Jade and Loris end up being the bottom two, and they go up to the ghostly gallows. Loris walks up to the ghostly gallows like this, and she's like, I know I got the worst critiques today. Girl, the writing was on the wall. I think we all knew that Loris was gonna go. But then we get this really, really heartfelt and kind of surprising moment from Jade. In her confessional, she's like, this is a new lease on life. Like, I just want to prove to people that I have worth and that I'm not a joke. And like, you know, like none of these girls know how much this means to me. And like, she's like crying and like, it's like so emotional. And that was the moment that fucking sold me. I am convinced that Jade is going to the finals. It really cemented her place in this season for me as like the main character, genuinely. And they announce her name. They say Jade Jolie. And then they send Loris through the fucking trap door. Shoop. And they show it like 8 times because of course they do. And just like that, we've come to the conclusion of another fabulous episode of the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans 2. Or so you thought! Because just after we think the episode is over, it cuts to Swan walking down a hallway to a morgue where she revives Frankie and Loris, and she says, I'm not done playing with you ghouls just yet. Gag, you guys, what the fuck? Like, why did they just get rid of Loris and Frankie if they were just gonna bring them back? I'm like, ugh. It kind of pissed me off initially, but then I was just like, ugh, whatever. The Boulets are full of their tricks and their stunts, you know? You gotta just let them be. Let them have it. Let them have it. Now, I may or may not know what happens next, but for the sake of the video, I will just say, Frankie and Loris, I'm very excited to see how this plays out for the two of you. Anyways, back to you, Past Toast. You guys, we made it to the end of another fabulous episode of Toast Talks, a show where Toast talks. I have been your lovely host, Toasteenitron 5000. And girl, if you made it all the way to the end of this episode, consider subscribing. Consider liking the video. Consider leaving a comment. I'm desperate for attention. And if you really liked this video, feel free to leave me a fabulous little tip. My info will be in the description. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day here on this planet Earth. Cherish it. Cherish it while you can. Because, honey, the AI overlords, they're coming. And yeah, stay toasty. Mwah. Kisses.